You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net. What you got waving there, Tamara?
Oh, well, I was fighting this little, leftover, and my kid all of a sudden hear this screaming from all of a sudden this whoop, and I'm like, what the hell was that? And it's screaming from upstairs.
Oh, okay. All right. Nothing serious, though?
No, it's a teenager thing.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought maybe you were waving a flag there.
No. I was just kind of whipping around back around because you all of a sudden hear this whooping coming from upstairs, and it's like, what the ah. But yeah.
So did I see? Okay, now you live in town on a main street type thing at the corner, and did I see you had to post or put up fencing around your side door to prevent deer from coming in your house?
From coming on my deck on my red room to eat my damn tomato plants. And I already have where the opening was, I have some netting already there so that they can poke their head in to eat my tomato plants, right? And they jumped in the dog pen, which is only a 4, it's not even, it's a 3 foot, just wiring across because the dogs don't try and get out.
Right.
Jumped in there and walked right onto my red room and ate my kale, or not my kale, my arugula. Didn't touch my carrots. Didn't eat half of my coleus. And then promptly walked out. I saw him leaving on the camera. His ass just wagging his tail as he was leaving. And I knew it was a male because he has the antlers, right?
Yeah.
It was a steed. But yeah, came in nicely. See on both cameras.
This morning, Gail sent me some pictures. She spotted the deer out front in the front yard here, and she watched it walk across the front yard, go over to our vegetable garden, and start eating from the vegetable garden.
Oh, yeah. You brought us a grocery store. People moved in. No food for us. Woo! We'll tell all our friends.
So then she went to do something, and she lost sight of it. And when she left, she started going down the driveway, and there it was at the end. It was sitting at the end of the driveway.
Yeah. As soon as
Bye. Thanks for breakfast.
Yep, flagging it. It'll be waving its little white tail at you, flagging you.
Yeah.
Just coming home from work too. Actually, we've got I just live 2 blocks up. Same busy. It's not busy on the side street here, but driving down and there's 2 spotted fawns on the front lawn of somebody else's yard chewing down their bushes. Right, Mama's down 2 doors down, fucking chewing down somebody else's fucking stuff. We've got a real we've got a real issue. Actually.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I love them. I've been here for 10 years, and since when I first moved back here 10 years ago, it wasn't so bad. But the year they got my fucking pot plant was fucking not too nice either. And that's when the netting went up, right? Because they fucking nibbled down half of one of my fucking pot plants on the red room too. And that was a couple of years ago because I had it in a big garbage, a big green garbage, on the back. I was 5 feet fucking tall. And the fucker ate half of it. It wasn't bloom yet. I don't know which fucker, but one of them fuckers ate it. So that's when the netting went in that opening, because that's where the pot plant was in that opening, and they could just get their head in there and just yang. And thankfully it bounced back, and but actually in reality I brought it in the house, and within 3 weeks the fucking thing died, and don't ask me why. But it was a big, beautiful plant outside. As soon as I brought it in and put it under lights, it just curled up like a fucking dry popcorn fart and died. I don't know.
Is it in bloom? already?
No, it hadn't gone into. It was still in veg. So I don't know if it had
Oh,
aphids or there was something in the, like, you know what I mean? Because I
yeah.
have such an aphid problem right now. That's why my cucumbers aren't. They're flowering, but they're not turning into cucumbers because I've got aphids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Such an issue because that fucking Virginia creeper. Anyway, so I think that's what got the pot plant. But yeah, that fucking deer. Anyway, that's when the netting first went up because he ate my pot plants. Now there's a piece of chicken wire across it, and that's not. That's another entrance. No, so I still got the netting up, and now I put chicken
You
wire
gotta
across.
protect your plants.
Oh, my fucking tomato plants. Oh, that was the garden I wasn't growing, right? Like Tamara wasn't.
Right.
Didn't buy one bedding out flower. Didn't spend one dime on gardening this year. Threw some
Mm-hmm.
tomato seeds in a fucking pot, in a pot with some dirt, and said, "I'll water you, and if you grow, okay." Then I got tomatoes on it. They're little, like the little tiny Tim cherry tomatoes. I was so excited, like right on. Fucking thing ate them all. Not all. I think he left me a few little ones, but I mean, he took all the tops, and then all the like. I had nice little vines with like just they were just like waiting to be like basically
Right.
ripen up.
Yeah, we have apple trees here on the property, and
Oh, they'll come for them.
they'll come for the apples. Correct. Oh yeah. Yeah.
They will come for everything. In fact, in town, they're not supposed to eat junipers, right? We have all these invasive trees and flowers that you can apparently buy that'll keep them away and whatever, right? So Grandma
Mhm.
did. That's why there's junipers, right? That's why we got carraganas. Them fuckers were eating the junipers last year too. They didn't give a flying fuck.
No, eh?
I couldn't imagine a juniper tasting good. The juniper berries taste like shit. I can't imagine what the fucking branch tastes like.
Yeah. Yeah, I see out on the apple trees, there's usually a piece about this long where it's broken, and it's the end of the branch is hanging there, and it just that just doesn't make sense. And I figured because I noticed them, then I cleaned them all up, and all of a sudden they appeared again. So
Yeah.
and wasn't even apples on them yet.
No, they're not. They don't care about the apples. They want the leaves, right? They do the
Yeah.
same thing with my lilacs too. Like they eat all the underbrush, so the leaves they can't reach. So it looks like my lilacs are a canopy, right? That's because
Right.
the deer are eating all the fucking leaves along the
Yeah.
wall. Yeah, because like I said, I don't know why they're eating all the leaves. Like there's no grass to eat. You could come mow my lawn. No, you don't want to eat the grass, so you could keep my lawn done, like a goat would. Like no, they want to
Yeah.
wanted to do the grass. Like, eat the grass. Then we wouldn't mind. Then I wouldn't have to buy a lot more, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They look
How
after
are
your land for you.
your outdoor flowers doing?
There you go.
Oh, how's your outdoor flowers doing? Like, how's your had some rough you've had some rough weather out
there's I love to say everything is just hunky dory, but there's always issues. Never, there's
there.
always whether I was going indoors or outdoors. But I believe I got a little bit of a pH issue going on in some of them right now, and so I got to attend to that.
A pH issue in your water or in your soil?
In the soil.
Ooh.
Outdoor, right?
Ooh. What are they doing? Are they curling up?
A lot of I say I'm trying to think of what would you brown spot to brown copper spots, dry just dots. Huh?
I know what you mean. Do you have any rust in your water? That could be high.
Train water.
Okay. Is there any acidity in your soil?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a soil issue, and I got to try to.
I would just water it with Epsom salts.
Yeah, that's what I've started. That's what I've started to do is add some Epsom salts to them, and I'll be adding like some oyster shells and others to try to deal with the pH in the soil.
Can you get some mealworms?
Mealworms?
Or live Can you get earthworms? Can you get some earthworm? Like
Oh,
not.
can I get some earthworms? Yeah, I can get earthworms. I can order them online. You can order them. I've ordered them in the past. Comes to you, it looks like a pound or a half pound of hamburger.
Yeah, yeah. But if you get, because that'll aerate around it too, right? Which
Mm.
helps, because once you start aerating the dirt, because that gets clogged up, right? Too, which holds that
Yeah.
acidity in the.
There are worms there, just so you know. There is some worms in the soil.
Well, you have 8 worm casings in your mixture, no?
Oh yeah. And then when I dug the dirt, dug the holes out, there was worms.
Oh, there should be, yeah.
Yeah. I told them they're going back to work.
Right? Yeah, because like I said, like I said, that's the only thing. Epsom salts and water to deal with that. Some of that, especially when it's outside and it's in the soil, like it's not in a pot.
Yeah, you can use lime as well. It can deal
Yeah,
with
you really
the
want to stay away
I
from
know. Yeah, I know.
yeah, Epsom salts. Yeah.
That's right. I was talking about the
I mean, and I
oysters.
know this from working at the
The
garden
oyster
center.
shells.
Like I
There's
didn't
the
know about
oyster shells
Epsom
and
salts so much until I started working at Top Crop last year. Like I didn't
yeah.
realize that I could cut the acidity of my pH using Epsom salts until I started working at Top Crop.
Yeah.
Until that shit last year working at the garden center, it's like, right? But it was
Right. Right. Now there's not the lime, but the gypsum as well. I don't know if it's going to make much of
What
adjust the
zone,
pH or not.
what zone are you guys in, like for growing? Like, because we're in a zone, like you know how Canada has regions of zones for growing. Do you know what your zone is? Because that has
No, I haven't got a clue.
hang on, let me find out. Because that'll have everything to do with
Yep.
whether you want to add lime or whether you want to add gypsum, right? Because there's sulfur too, right? Because you can add sulfur to your soil too, right?
Yeah. It drops it.
And the
Right?
acidity of that helps
Yeah,
with the pH.
I've got sulfur.
Because that's another thing. Like that's why it's good to know what. So you're in Southern Ontario, right?
Correct.
Southwest, though, right?
So it's north central,
North Central.
south central.
So you're zone 6.
6.
And
So what's that?
so you're the same as we are actually, because we're a 5. We're a 5, right? 5, 6, 2. Where I am in BC, it's the same
Okay.
thing.
So what's
So
that mean?
so it depends. So that means that the acidity in the soil, you might want to go with more sulfur than Epsom salts. So you know how potatoes scab too because the pH levels are too high in the soil, right? If you grow potatoes, you have to put sulfur down to help them not scab because the pH levels are too high. So what sulfur will do is it'll actually cut the acidity in the soil. So you might want to
Right.
just add some sulfur around the base of them and water them. Just that's because you're like I said because we're in that same zone. But if that's what
Yeah.
they do for potatoes to cut because usually potatoes get scabby. Just talking about potatoes, right? Get scabby.
Right.
It's the same thing that's happening to the cannabis leaf. It's getting almost like scabs on the leaf, right? Almost looks like little brown spots, like little brown scabs.
Yeah. It's like it's got the measles.
Right. Exactly. The same thing that a potato will do if it's in the ground and the pH levels are too high. So I would go with sulfur.
Sulfur, eh?
Yeah.
That'll lower it. I've got some sulfur. An extra shot of
That'll lower your
bloom
pH.
food. Some bloom food will help bring it down as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either or. Don't use both, right?
Yeah. And then I've got some guano. That's phosphorus guano that'll bring it down. That shit.
I wouldn't use that. It's got high in nitros.
No, not the veg version.
Really? Is there vegan?
Yeah, there's a phosphorus one. Yeah.
How do you get that? Yeah, I know you
Well,
can.
you can buy. See, it used to come as back guano, but now it's called phosphate something. I haven't bought it in a long time because I've had some of
Because you can't get guano anymore because of the whole.
no, correct.
You can't even get it. That
No,
was people would come into the store asking for that too, like that we're growing like at the back where the hydro stuff and all the nutrients and stuff were for cannabis at the store, right? And they would offer
Right.
us for that, and I'm like, man, we can't get that since COVID. Like, there's just no way we're getting that stuff out of China. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
The states you
they've
can get it, but they won't
you
bring
can't
it
even
across.
buy it. You can't even buy it now. So what they've done now? Mineralized phosphate.
Oh yeah, are you getting that from the green?
Gaia Green, yeah, yeah. Because that's the product. Those are the products I use.
Gaia Green's a good product actually. There and what was the other one? Uncle Joe's or Joe's something or Frank's or something like that. Some old name.
Yeah.
Frank's, I think it was another one that said like that standard like you can use for everything. Like Gaia Green you can use for vegetables and you can use it for cannabis
Mm.
too. Like, you can use it for both.
Yeah. So
Where you know
it's mineralized phosphate,
yeah.
which is a natural rock phosphate. That's what it's derived from.
You can use that, yeah. It's the same as like using, like you said, oyster shell. That's the same type of stuff too, right? But you want the oyster shell for calcium because oyster shells is for calcium.
Oh
Right?
yeah. There's all kinds of things.
Yeah, I use those for my chickens.
The
And
eggshells.
actually, because if the tomatoes get tomato rot, you can use oyster shell too for the calcium for your tomatoes.
Right. Yeah. It does take a while for it to break down the
Oh, yeah.
eggshell.
Tums work really well too for calcium.
The what does?
Tums. You can take tums, white
Oh
tums,
yeah.
and stick them in the dirt
Yeah.
for calcium. You can.
Well, I've never fed my plants some Thomas, but I know what you mean. Or as some people just say, instead of taking Tums, take some baking soda. So could you,
No, it's the baking soda. No, because it's the
not in the
calcium.
plant,
Yeah.
no, but it settles.
Bananas are too for potassium, right? They say to soak banana leaves overnight in
Mhm.
water with banana leaves. I've never done that before. I have a hard enough time getting water on the plants that I've got right now. I am
Right.
like I'm so off schedule and like so dysregulated working these night shifts. It's just
Oh yeah, I worked night shifts in the past. I worked it for many years.
it'll be better. Well, I used to work the midnights, right? Like when I worked at the potato like bar factory and did taxi cab dispatching. Those were all night shifts, right? This is like
Yeah,
an afternoon night shift, so it's kind of like breaks up your day into the night. So it's like you don't get the whole day, and then you don't get, and it's 10 o'clock at night, so it's too late to do anything, kind of
yeah,
thing, right? And then you're up till like the middle of the night just so you can wind down. It's just kind of sucks. When winter
yeah.
comes, I'm only working till 9 again. That will be probably better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we were gonna discuss the difference in markets.
Yes. We were talking about that before the show. Difference in the markets, the cannabis market, that's going on out there. As far as between there's the legal market, there's the indigenous market, and there's still lots of people who rely on the legacy market.
Well, that's because the legal market really, dropped the ball for patients, right? When it came to the
Oh,
milligram
big time.
for edibles and,
Yeah,
whatever, wellness, whatever they've got in their wellness cabinets and stuff as far as salves. But again, we were talking about the capsules and you can get the caps and then that's higher milligram because there's so many in the capsule or in the
right.
ball,
Yeah, you get capsules at 10 milligrams a capsule. You can buy them at 100 in a package.
right? So
So
that's
you're
like
taking.
well above the 30 milligram level, right? Or 10 milligram
Oh
level,
yeah, that's 1,000 milligrams in a bottle.
right? But you have to take the whole bottle to get any effect.
Well, that's the problem. Like, I've sort of gone that route a couple times. I just gone in and grabbed some just to see, and I swallow pills in the morning. I swallow pills in the evening every day
Yeah.
for my medication, and so in the end, I thought, geez, I'm swallowing more pills. I'm gonna have to swallow, quite a few of these. Do I really want to keep?
Of them, like if
That's,
there's 100 of them, that's 100 pills a day for 1,000,
yeah, and that's to get the 1,000 milligrams,
right?
correct?
You jam that in if that's what you want. 100 pills.
Yeah, I thought, well, let's say it took me even 400 or 500 milligrams. So do I want to swallow all those pills?
Well, I've had other people that have eaten a gummy bear from the stores and have slept for fucking 14 hours.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
knock them right on their asses too. And they're not like maybe patients that are everyday kind of users like we are too, maybe. But yeah, my one friend, she is a pretty, chronic user, and she had a gummy at one of our friends' camp weekends, and she went in the camper and she
Mm.
didn't wake up till Monday, and she take the gummy on Friday.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Like they couldn't get
It's,
her. Yeah, they couldn't get her to wake up either. They didn't think she was dead 'cause she was still breathing, right?
right. Right.
She was
Yeah.
like, she was out, like she was sleeping. And when she woke up, she said she figured she'd only slept for a couple hours. She had no idea she'd been asleep for like almost 72 hours.
So she didn't feel like she overslept. Wow.
No, she woke up feeling like she only had a little nap. Like she just barely, like she felt better, like she felt good because she had a
Yeah.
good sleep. But yeah, that she didn't feel like she'd been asleep that long.
Oh yeah. There's people who
Oh,
I've come across. I've experienced with people who have had the 10 milligrams, and that was plenty for them.
yeah.
But yeah, it's unfortunate the government has dropped the ball on that. Um,
I think and here's the thing: it's not like they didn't have a lot of consultation from patients.
oh, they did. They had
Had
lots of it.
consultation from patients. They heard from a lot of us, and like I
Mm,
said, we were at roundtables with them. We were, speaking up for the patients everywhere we went against this recreational market because of that they were going to leave the patients out with the milligrams, right?
yeah, like and I've said on more than one occasion, why not allow a medical dispensing within the retail stores, just like you do when you go into we got like economy fare that used to have in Campbellford. You could walk in there or any Shoppers Drug Mart or any other convenience store, or not convenience store, but drug store. There's more than just prescription drugs available in there. It's a separate counter. You're going in, you can get all kinds of convenience items or
Oh,
house.
yeah, well, exactly. Like it's like that at
Yeah,
any place. You still have to go to the back counter of the pharmacy to get your pharmaceuticals. You have
correct, exactly.
counter. You can have everything else in there and do whatever else
Yeah,
you need to do. And I
yeah.
and I and I agree with that. But again, they need to have
And you
need to
could
come
do
up with
your
some sort of educational thing, right? Like an educational course of some sort to educate people on the benefits of have the studies done so that people can actually know what strain to to recommend for certain things, right? Where a lot of us know that because we've been around forever and we know what works for us, but again, what works for us doesn't work for the next guy,
correct.
right?
That's right,
And
and
that's
that happens in the pharmaceutical end as well.
right for exactly, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like you're taking a risk on every pharmaceutical that you put in with having an allergic reaction if you've never taken it before, because if you've never taken it before, how do you know how your body's going to
Well, I'll
react?
tell you, doctor always say to you, here, take these. If they don't work, give us a call.
Right, yeah, like if you're having any
Yeah, or if they
reaction to
bother
it,
you.
like because they don't know you're an experiment.
Yeah,
Like everybody's an experiment when it comes to your doctor,
yeah.
right?
I know. I was on a biological drug that I took for basically 10 years. Um, and I know a guy who, on his very first time, he ended up being hospitalized with
Oh yeah.
pneumonia.
Oh
On
wow.
just one, on not even like they took him there into the hospital after his treatment. So like he didn't go very far.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah,
scary.
he couldn't take it. But then somebody like myself, and the only reason why I ended up coming off it is because I ended up with melanoma.
Well, that's not a that's a pretty bad
Yeah,
side.
yeah, exactly. It is. It's one of the worst cancers to get. Now, whether it was connected to my medication or not, but the fact
Oh
that I did end up getting it, and it's a drug that deals with your immune system.
well, methotrexate too, right?
That too, yeah. I was on it.
Yeah. Like I mean, I know that there are side effects out. I mean, thankfully, my liver's holding up because it can give you liver cirrhosis or cirrhosis, right? As well as you're supposed to stay out of the sun as well when you take methotrexate,
Right. Yeah.
right? So because
That's right.
can increase your chances of melanoma as well. So there are side effects, and it's not so much the fact that they're suppressing your immune system. You already have an overactive immune system that's already, on the cusp of fucking who knows what, doing whatever in your body already, right? Because your white cells are eating your red cells or whatever the fuck eating each other kind of thing, and your insides are just, and you can't see any of it. You just have the effects of it.
Yeah.
Crohn's disease, colitis, rheumatoid, any of the rheumatoids, autoimmunes, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's so many, like
So
there's
many.
arm's length of all these autoimmune diseases, right?
Is it because there's just more people in the world, or is it because the further and further that our systems don't get access to a cannabinoid therapy by having it, whether it's eaten through the food that we eat. For example, people who eat cows will eat cannabis out in the fields.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I was watching a documentary the other night. No, yeah, that's about enough. I have to let her in after the break because if not, we're gonna have to listen to that thing all day.
Yeah, we got a couple.
We're seeing now that 1 in 30 have autism, comparably to 30 years ago. Now, I'm not sure if that's because they're actually being able to be diagnosed autism a little better and earlier now than they actually did 30 years ago, where they just ignored it and figured the kids had bad, behavioral problems and there was nothing wrong with them. They were just spoiled rotten kids. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference too, that science has evolved to show, and they can actually like see and understand better. But they're saying that 1 in 30 children now are born with autism.
Wow.
Right? And they don't know what it's causing. And it's not, and they've definitely, it's not vaccinations, because some of these kids have never been vaccinated, right?
Mhm.
So you can't say that the vaccine caused that child's autism if the child's never had a vaccine. So what is the cause of autism, right? And then they've gone back and said that it could be linked to alcohol, and it could be linked to the father's side of,
Genetics.
let's say your genetics, the father's father, our father's side have alcoholism.
Yeah.
Some form of addiction issues. Yeah. So there's all kinds of things, right? But yeah, it was quite an interesting documentary, but nothing about, cannabis helping with anything, which they don't.
No, well, yeah, it's woo.
Like we've always said, it should be one of the first line of defense rather than the last line.
Well, yeah. The after all your other options existed or have been used up and no longer exist.
Well, that's the thing. Like that's what kind of convinced my one doctor in Hannah. Never mind, it wasn't really the cannabis that he thought was working. It was more of my quality of life. But at the end of the day, I've got lymphatic colitis. There's zero treatment for it. I'm like 1 in 420,000 people that get it. It's that rare. So when you're 1 in 420,000 people, there's no treatment for lymphatic colitis. None.
Well, and as we were just mentioning there, the difference between the markets, being the legacy one, the legacy as well as the indigenous market has those higher dose edible products, or beverages, all that type of stuff, that patients can consume.
Yeah.
Without,
Yeah. It would be like you said. I wish that they would have allowed some of the more of the legacy edibles into the market, because
they have. Okay, now cannabis, they got 2.5 milligrams, got 5 milligrams, they've got 10 milligrams. But when you compare it to beer and alcohol, you got your low alcohol, and then you got your 5s and your 7. You've got alcohol as far as your rise and all that at 40%.
Yeah, you can't get Everclear 90% alcohol in British Columbia. You can get it in Alberta, you can get it in Ontario, but you cannot.
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah, I've gotten it here.
You can't get 90 proof in BC. They don't allow that for some reason.
Alrighty, I see it is break time.
All right.
All right. When we return, we got to talk more about some legalization, including why. It's sort of a bit of a follow-up question that I asked back in April and May, and that's why do we need to still protest for the benefits of access to cannabis? So, alrighty. So yeah. Other than that, you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net, and I got so many videos loaded up. I have to find the right one. I found it.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from, the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tynaniga.
We have two lines of drinks. One is called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with. And then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net, plus at several other places as well. So, Tamara, before the break, we're talking a little bit about the legalization and some advantages over market-wise, indigenous market, as well as the legal market and the legacy market. There are places, I would say, in the indigenous market that maybe all products aren't being tested like they are, for example, with our sponsor here at Legacy 420. They have their own lab, so all their products are all tested.
Right.
But yeah, you go to another store, on the reserve, on any of the reserves, because where they have them. For example, I'm in the middle of two, probably 80 stores between the two of them.
I just find that crazy, but I guess if they've got the the population in Ontario is a little higher than this out here too, and I imagine you've got more people, but that just seems excessive. But again, if they're able to stay, obviously they're still open, so they're able to be viable, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, so I sort of I know that through Legacy themselves doing some testing on some products that have been bought by Secret Shopper, that there is some question of the test results on some of the packaging. Is it something that's been maybe a mass produced package, but different batches of product has gone into those containers, and not all batches are the same, right?
Well, I mean, Legacy is pretty well doing from farm to table on their,
Yeah. As far as Legacy 420, correct?
like right from plant kind of like all the way down. Where are all the other ones doing that? Are they all growing their own? Are they getting sourcing elsewhere? Do they, are they testing it as it comes in?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right?
I know that there are places that have their own testing, but I don't see every place having it, and it's relied on what's on the package. And I know from experience myself where I've had a bag of a product that said it was 500 milligrams and not feel effect, and I've had another product that said it was 400 milligrams, and holy Christ, I kicked my ass and fucking couldn't believe it. I was just asleep in the recliner for 3.5 hours.
Right? Yeah. No, like I understand that because I've when I won that basket on 420, there was some gummies in there.
Yeah.
Right? I don't make a habit of buying. When Mariana was here, I bought her a couple of them, but she was like pounding through like 4 or 5 of them at once, and really wasn't anything. I didn't see any change in her. She wasn't falling asleep by any stretch, right?
Right.
But again, too, we had those free ones. So there's a couple CBD ones, which I find kind of funny in a recreational market, right? Like, isn't CBD
It's
more
like facial creams,
right? So there was some CBD one, and they're all gummies. So I gave those to Taven, honestly, and I kept a couple of them for myself, and neither one of us got anything out of any of it.
right?
So that's my experience with legal markets edibles.
Yeah,
I would eat shards off the counter. I'd have to quit eating shards off the counter because if I did, I'd be sleeping for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for example, I've gone in and bought some stuff, and I look at the dates on it, and I go, "Wow!" But I've had some other stuff that has been fresher, much newer.
Right.
And I think about an edible. Like, how long can they allow those edibles to wait? Like, I know that they gotta be shelf stable and stuff like that, but would it still be there like 8 or 9 months later, getting a brownie that's been sitting in the store for 9 months?
Get brownies here. All we can get is like candies, like chocolate, gummies, capsules. There's no brownies. We can't get brownies here.
You can't get brownies?
Not in the legal market. None that I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Anything like that. Well, you can. Can you get them from the legal market? Or are you talking about like the Legacy 420?
No, I'm talking about the legal market.
Oh, we can't get them. I don't think. I've never seen
them.
I'm not sure I've seen them. Maybe I never look in the fridge. I don't buy the drinks. There's a fridge in there. Maybe they've got them in there. I know there's live resin and stuff in the fridge there because it's been so warm that it didn't melt. I know that.
Right.
But I don't go digging in the fridge. But I will. I guess I could look. Maybe I'm a liar.
I'm just looking at my local store here.
I'm just gonna
and see what it says on the The edible end of things. Gummies, 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 gummies. Chocolates. You know, soft chews. As far as I'm concerned, soft chews and gummies are the same thing. Gummies, gummies, gummies. Chocolate. Gummies. All right. I thought the brownies were available. I guess not, eh? It's all gummies and just gummies and chocolate?
Caramel chocolate,
Really?
chocolate, strawberry mango sativa sours, watermelon indica sours, gummies,
Yeah.
gummies.
Oh. Well, I can tell you that I can go to Legacy 420 and I can pick up brownies there.
I know, that's what I mean. Difference, right? And I
Yeah.
mean, that if they're using bread and eggs and milk, I imagine. Oh, here we go. Oatmeal treats and treats oatmeal s'more cup, 60 grams. What is that?
What's
Looks like a
flowers? So
cookie.
edibles just like I don't know that.
Oatmeal s'more cup. $9.99. Looks like an oatmeal cookie. So it looks like
Oh, we found a cookie.
I found a cookie. It's called a s'more, and I'm not sure if that's what it is. It could be just a chocolate.
Right. Edibles. I'm looking at another store here.
Chocolate.
Chocolates and munchies.
Yeah, no, that's
Or gummies.
peanut butter cup. That thing was like the same thing. It was like a
Yeah.
well, you can get a peanut
Here's
butter.
a salted caramel crunch. It looks like a chocolate covered almond.
900 milligrams each. What?
Oh, here we go. Look at this. A double chocolate brownie.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on.
$4.50 for a 10 milligram brownie. And they got cookies.
Something you'll find interesting.
So
These are Wildflower Daily Bliss grilled pineapple CBD chews, 105 grams, 30 pieces, 900 milligrams each. It says 0 milligrams
CBD.
of THC, 900 milligrams of CBD.
CBD, yeah.
Yeah. 0 milligrams of THC.
If you want CBD, that's got lots of CBD.
One piece of chocolate, $3.99.
Yeah. I came across a store and I was out of town and I was looking for something to use as a beverage. And they showed me a product and it actually had THC, CBD, CBN, and CBG in it. And it's just something that you add to your own beverage, you know. But
We used to have those.
when it goes into the fluid, like when I take the stuff and I put it into my drink, it all sort of it starts to sort of go foamy, like you see it reacting in my drink, and I'm going, what?
Oh no, yeah, that's normal. Do you remember when Mike and Amber used to have those unicorn drinks in little bottles? Did you ever drink those? And you just add water to them? Oh, okay. Well, there was that guy. I can't remember who it was, but they used to have the little drinks. We used to have them, and you could get them in a little, look like a pill bottle, just one of these. But it was with a label on them. It had unicorns on them, and they were THC drinks, right? And they were powder.
Wow.
Add them to water. Whatever was in it to stabilize the THC in the mixture does foam a little bit. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, because like I poured it into like a mango drink, so it's orangey looking, and I pour that stuff in, and it all starts sort of reacting in the fluid, and it goes all white right there.
Ooh,
And
that's
I
not.
was going like,
I don't know. Like I don't know about that because, like I said, these were all flavored.
what is this?
Oh, these were flavored. Like you get like peach, grape.
No, I don't know. I don't think they're flavored. Hang on. Yeah, there was. I got just the same thing. I got two of them.
The legal
What's that?
market or the
Yeah, the legal market. Out of the legal market, yeah.
never seen them. But
Yeah.
again, the beverages, I see them like when I leave. I know there's a fridge there by the doorway.
Right.
Color. But I never look in there because I'm not looking for edibles and drinks.
Mods or something. I don't know what it was called.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't. I'll have
Yeah,
to-
like when I get my stuff from Legacy 420, it's the pop based stuff. It's made out of whole plant extract.
That's
It's
how
not something that's been sort of chemically produced. And, who knows what it is.
right? Well, the thing is with Legacy too, like you can get like edibles that are being made by a chef. So
Yeah. Well, see, we've excuse me, like we've obviously the big problem. We look at these THC limits that a lot of people and patients are missing and would like to see higher. And that's why those things that we've talked about earlier this year at the global marijuana marches or any protests. People always ask why cannabis is legal. Why do you need to do that?
well, 'cause it's not all over the world, and it's a worldwide marijuana march.
Well, that's right. That's right. So what I did is I took I made some little video clips that we'll be running on the network.
Well, Vietnam just met with China and Russia. So and Thailand's got a new female. There was just a coup in Thailand.
Oh,
Yeah, there was a coup in Thailand, and they've actually ousted the president, the previous president, and put a new female president in.
I haven't heard this yet.
Of the previous president. Yeah.
Oh, so what are they going to do with cannabis laws? Because they keep changing them around.
That's what I'm waiting to hear because they haven't done anything with it.
Oh.
She's young and
Right.
progressive, apparently. So
I've got a couple of videos here. If you remember at the time, I asked you, why people should be protesting, the cannabis laws, and you explained, about cannabis law reform and stuff like that. So what I did is we did the march, and I asked people that day, and I've taken it and condensed it down to a 30-minute video. But what I've also done is condensed it down to individual ones as well. So I'm going to run some.
oh, right on.
All right. So here we go. Here's Ashley Cleo, Sulphur King. So they're just talking about the legacy market, right?
Yeah.
So here you go.
We need lounges. We need lounges where they can host events.
Yes, we do. We're missing so many of them now. It's really sad.
So why do you march, Ashley?
Oh, because this needs to be legal everywhere, and we need to change the face of legality, too. We definitely need lounges.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
used to have a lot of them in Toronto. Not
Yeah,
Now there's
exactly.
like 4.
We'll get there. As I said to people earlier, when cannabis was illegal, we were marching for cannabis law reform, and we're still doing that today.
to this day, 100%. We still need to up all of our legal limits to allow for medical patients to actually get some form of relief.
Why should someone get arrested with 32 grams or a ticket for 32 grams when you can go places and buy substances with greater quantity?
Right?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
All right. Thanks, Ashley.
No problem. Thank you.
Website.
SofaKingGoodBakery.com.
Okay. Thank you.
So there you go. And she's the person that's involved in the legacy market,
Right.
and she'd like to see legalization expand to be able to bring everybody in.
Right. I was talking about that on my show on Monday about how why can't we have lounges and the whole point
Yeah.
of that, because you have a bar, right? You can go and grab a meal, have a drink. It's okay, right? That's a safe same thing. Why can't we be able to serve whatever strain you want? Bring you out a volcano, give you a little cup of tea, like the same as they do in Amsterdam. But yet Amsterdam now has cut people tourism away.
Tourists. Yeah. Yeah, because apparently tourists are busy peeing in people's backyards, so on and so forth. There's more to it than that, but yeah.
But
But yeah, I can understand why they don't want you to. Like, I like vapor lounges. I was there at them quite often.
To Toronto too, to be fair. Like people would go to Toronto. People went to Vancouver specifically to go see cannabis culture, right? Go up to the cannabis culture lounge. As much as I hate, to mention the person's name, we will not mention. People went there to see it, right? See the lounge, see the whole, realm of things. Go to the vapor lounge upstairs. Go see Amsterdam Cafe, which is still there on the Pop Block in Vancouver. I mean, that lounge is still running downtown Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
So there are lounges in places that were still there, like I said, downtown Vancouver. Up top of cannabis culture is still running as a lounge, right? You can still go there. It's just the other ones that were opened afterwards that nobody can open another one. And I don't know how that works, but yeah. But again, like look at the ones that were in Toronto. Vapor Central, Vape on the Lake. There were so many of them, and people would go to Toronto to go to those lounges.
To go visit them.
Yeah. Right? And what happened to all the, 420 Airbnbs that everybody was going to have across the country? That was supposed to be a big thing too, and it didn't really pan out either. I don't see a lot of 420 Airbnbs across the country because now there's no events. You know what I mean? Nobody's flying to Toronto or flying to Vancouver for cups and Halifax for cups, and there's no need for it because nobody's doing that anymore. Like it's like legalization kind of shut our community into it.
Well, it's like they're part of it's what people lost with legalization. We lost those lounges when legalization came in, especially here in Ontario. The Smoke-Free Ontario Act, and I know other provinces had their smoke-free acts, and workers are protected from being in a workplace that's got smoke in it.
I think that that should be a worker's choice, and they should be able to sign a waiver.
Well, I know that at lots of jobs, people are put through around worse environments.
Right. Again, like I said, there's so many elements to that. But if somebody's willing to apply for that job, knowing full well what they're going to be exposed to, that should be their choice.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be up to anybody to say, well, you're a worker in British Columbia and you can't work there because of the smoke. Well, that's not their choice.
Yeah.
Right? I think
Could they not, why not provide some, like they've tried it before with the smoking of tobacco, like in a donut shop. They had a section and they'd have it glassed off, right?
Right. Well, that was the whole thing, right? We're going to have this non-smoking thing and make all the restaurants make a non-smoking zone. And then we're just going to cut out smoking altogether so that they just spend thousands of dollars making non-smoking areas and smoking areas. And then, 6 years down the road, we're just going to cut smoking all together and fuck the restaurant over. It was that was just brutal. Like that was overall brutal. But again, these non-smoking acts just made it so that cannabis lounges had to be shut down. But even when the lounges, there was very few of them that you could actually smoke joints in them.
There was actually in Toronto the ones that we did for the magazine, for Treating Yourself magazine. Of the 9 we reviewed at that time, there was only one that you couldn't smoke inside. you had to vaporize inside, and that was the hot box run by Abby. She
Right.
wouldn't allow smoking inside. So
No.
you mentioned Vapor Central.
Yeah.
I got a little clip here. So just a second.
Are they not?
There you go. Some of the stuff that was going on at Vapor Central, games, bond level.
I
Because
know.
they had the big one. There was an air can filter. That was one of 6 that they had hanging from the ceiling
Right.
in there. Even though there was no regulations or controls over them, they were self-regulated, and a lot of them had those filtering systems to allow air exchange.
A lot of good stuff came out of it because they did Matt's show from Vapor Central, like Matt Murner's
Yeah,
show.
yeah. I actually this past weekend, actually late last week, I aired a video that we recorded 12 years ago, 13 years ago. What we did is we called in to Matt's show from Peterborough. We had just had a meeting at the Carp Diem Cafe in Peterborough. We had a Legacy 420 meeting, and during that we called into TMZ, as Matt ended up calling it, and then we had a big discussion. So I aired that again as a one of these memory things, and I got more of them coming. I got one that I have to put together because at the time I was only allowed to run 15-minute clips on YouTube.
Oh.
So yeah, that was so I had an interview with Ted that was almost like, I'm gonna say, an hour and a half, 2 hours long with Ted Smith every 15 minutes. I'd have to start it again.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So it's got. I've got all the pieces. I'm gonna put it all together and air it as one big thing. But it's good to see, or interesting to see, what people were doing all those years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I was Googling here to see if there is any vapor lounges listed anywhere. And excuse me. It's all like vape lounge, like vape stores, like for your nicotine and stuff. There's nothing listed for a vapor lounge.
No, eh?
No. Vape shop, vape stops.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to commercial break. You keep looking. I'm gonna run another vape lounge video before the break, before the commercial runs.
Oh,
so we'll see everybody on the other side of that. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor? If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And welcome back to the Pace Radio Show. What are you checking out, Tamara?
Well, I found that Cannabis Culture is still running their lounge in Vancouver.
Found the what?
So Cannabis Culture is still running their lounge in downtown Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's on the second floor. And just the vapor volcanoes.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
No, I was just reading like something on the RCMP.
There's still some in Toronto. There's just not
out there
like there used to be.
Yeah. Well, there used to be like several of them. Like, I don't know. I didn't look to see if Vapor Central was still there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was just reading like the RCMP put out a thing saying that I didn't know there was a bunch of threats and stuff going on today across the country. Did you?
Of what?
Threats made today to a number of institutions, synagogues, hospitals across the country. We're working with local law enforcement who have actively responded to ensure locals are safe and secure. Did you hear anything about that? Oh.
No, I was...
yeah, the life of living in a little town that nobody bothers with. Yeah, anyway, I just came across that as I was looking for lounges.
I've been busy today. I haven't been able to get caught up with all the other news.
Well, like when I found Facebook, like when I Googled it, Cannabis Culture didn't come up. Like I said, it was mostly just like the e-juice vapor lounges. And then it took me to Cannabis Culture, but then it took me to Facebook, which then took me to Facebook, which then came across as RCMP, whatever notice. Like,
right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good to know that I'd like I said, I'd like to have a place where you could come and, but again, have the legal cannabis, like say at a store per se, and have a little store, have a little coffee counter where you can go in and you can buy your cannabis and you can roll it up there and maybe have a coffee and smoke your doobie, or
Yeah.
but have it as like where you can purchase. And but anyway,
Yeah, well, probably for a good example would be the town that I used to live in, Marmara, that opted out of the cannabis stores. You remember me always
yep,
dealing? Yeah. Well, they now have a cannabis store.
of course they do,
And,
and they got a new council.
when they got the new council, they opted in, and it took a year and a half or so, but cannabis store has opened, and so I went in and talked to them and give them some business cards so they could share them around. But it was good to see that it's happened, and so far, the lady I was talking to said that they've been well received. So what I did is I took a picture of the business it had the locations of each of their stores. So it had Marmara, so I circled it, and I posted it in the local group, and said that it's good to see the store here.
Right.
Unfortunately, the past council didn't allow them, even though that 75% of the people wanted them.
I know. I just can't believe that. Like that just just
So
kills me. One person on council dictates, like in these
yeah,
and like everybody screams about fascism and all this shit. Look at your mayor first and foremost.
so it's at a intersection where there is like there's convenience store on one corner, and then there's like a Service Ontario building, and beside that is the kids playground. Directly across from it is like the community ball diamond and dog park. So I posted congratulating them from opening. So somebody was upset about where the location was at, and I said, well, because they comment, well, it's right where the kids are, and so on and so forth. And I said, well, the stores all have to be approved for because there are regulations as far as distances where they have to be from something.
Yep.
Well, then out come the big rant going on about how it's going to make all those kids into crack addicts and crackheads and so on and so forth. And what was that, Gail? Yeah. And so on and so forth. And it just and so he was blaming the federal government for all these people walking around smoking cannabis all over the streets and everything. And I said, no, that's a provincial matter. And I shared a newspaper article headline that says Doug Ford approves public consumption and all that. And I said, you're blaming the wrong people here, buddy. Take quotes out of it. Yeah. In the end, he said I was uneducated and I didn't know what I was talking about. So it was good to see that the town has, they've opened up, they've got a store there, and they're still opening, really, because the store, even the inside of the store wasn't finished yet. So.
Well, that's terrific. Like I said, everybody, like I said, that's one thing with access, right? Like the more access people have, the better, right? Like I said, there's, I'm not real happy about the whole way it all kind of panned out. And yes, I'm not impressed with the fact that patients don't have the milligrams of edibles that they require and they need, and we don't grow 4 plants. I think that's a little bit, over regulation. On my, I think that's just my thoughts. I think it's just overdone on a lot of aspects, like well overdone. Like take the reins off. We're adults here. You don't. You know what I mean? People make let people make as much wine as they want. Somebody can make as much wine as they want. They have their whole basement full fucking filled up with beer and wine that they made themselves. Like, why is it different? And that's it. That's the only, like I said, well, we know it's different, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why is it different?
Why can you not grow an unlimited amount of cannabis if you can produce an unlimited amount of wine?
you can't sell your own homemade liquor, so you don't sell your homemade pot. Like, it's a no-brainer. You can't sell your homemade fucking pies either. We get it, okay? Nobody's gonna, and whatever. But come on, like, it's just over-regulated. Like, take the
Oh
right
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
adults. And I think that's what pisses me off the most about the whole thing, is that we're all adults, and you've made us all feel like we're little fucking kids. Oh, you can only have 10 milligrams. Oh, and you don't want to overdose on cannabis. We know we're not going to overdose on cannabis.
Well,
It never has.
you
So,
know,
like,
it's,
well, you're overdosing on cannabis. Like,
yeah, and you know that comes down to education, knowledge, let people know. You know, it's if you don't educate, especially somebody who's first time trying out. Unfortunately, some people don't have common sense.
oh,
To start low and go high, right? They just start
yeah, but
high.
you drink too much alcohol and go puke your fucking guts out in the field too, right? Like, nobody's saying, hey, you might have had too much alcohol. Again, over-regulation on
Yeah,
cannabis.
yeah,
It's the same stupidity. Nobody's saying, hey, don't drink that 90 proof.
yeah. No, they don't. They don't say that. Print it again, Gail.
Okay.
And Gail's looking for something she printed off.
Right on. Hi,
It's not.
Gail. Hello.
It's not.
How are
It's in-
yeah, like, I just think it's so, like I said, that's probably the biggest piss off with it all, is the low milligram, because they're treating us like we're little kids.
yeah.
It's over-regulated. We
This-
have to take care of ourselves. You already put an age limit on it.
Well, no, you know, look what they've done out west. You know, in Calgary or Alberta, they have it at the Stampede. Other events are going to be bringing cannabis in. I think I'd like to see that grow, obviously, across the country.
Absolutely. But bring it in and normalize it. Just like liquor, just like your coffee stands and your little fruit stands. Let's have a cannabis stand at the farmers.
Yeah, why not? Because by not having them, it just continues the stigma.
It does. Like I said, it needs to be more like it's a $1 billion industry. They
Yeah.
need to. Like, I've said this a number of times, and I've said this to some of the liberal, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Why are you not embracing and saying this is where some of the money's come from our investments in this new industry? Why don't you embrace that? Why don't you own that? Why don't you do a victory lap on that one? But oh no, we're not going to talk about that because we're too worried about, dental and pharma and everything else, and feeding kids for lunch. I get that. But do a victory lap on cannabis, because the only reason why you have money to feed those kids for lunch is because of cannabis.
Well, yeah, why not promote what they're using it for?
Right? Don't tell me all that money's going to law enforcement. You aren't, because there's no more law enforcement. We're missing. We don't have enough cops. Okay, so don't tell me all that money that you're making off cannabis is going into all these community units and recovery. That's bullshit. So where's it's going into the regular coffers. Well, then you're feeding those kids off cannabis. You fed all of us during syrup off cannabis, but embrace it.
Yeah, if you're willing to take the taxes from it, then embrace it. Yeah.
Quit ducking it. Like, when you ask them straight out, they just kind of
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and then you find out that they're going to a store in the next town.
Oh, they don't care if they get their assistants to fucking bring it up. They probably get it delivered. They don't give a shit. No different than you see Trudeau standing there with a glass of beer in his hand. It's like, he's skirting around the back of the house. Pass me that joint there, Charles.
Jean Cousin.
He did inhale.
Yeah, well, Christian, he'd have his joint in his hand, right?
Christian, yeah, but he was battling cancer, but apparently the old bugger's in remission and coming along quite well. His health is improving.
Oh yeah, really? Eh? Oh.
I heard that from one of my. Well, he's a TikToker, right? But his dad used to work for them. He used to be the chauffeur.
Oh yeah.
At dinner with Gretchen, and he was telling everybody that Gretchen had been battling cancer, and he's doing quite a bit better. He was able to go out and have dinner, and he's like, 86, I think.
Yeah. He was old when last time I saw him.
Right?
And that much older now.
But yeah, apparently he's doing much better. So whatever's working for him, maybe it's the weed.
Maybe it's the weed. Yeah.
You know, like how many of us how many of us sent Jack Layton messages saying, Jack, like, come on, we'll send as much oil as you want. Like, come on, like, let's get you on the RSO, Jack. And like, how many? It never got a response. Nobody ever said. But I think that, you know, maybe it's three.
All right, I got another GMM memory here.
No.
Yeah, and this is from D Bud. We'll see you in a couple minutes. There we go. And I was surprised when I asked him if this was his first march that he had ever been to. So, see you on the other side.
So what do you think?
I think it's excellent. I love, again, you know, I was talking with Timmy earlier, and it's always like somebody starts something and everybody responds. And that's the beautiful thing about it is we're all here, and it's these events to give us a chance to kind of find each other. So this is my first march. I've been involved in plenty of events, but my first march. So
really,
you know, yeah, like, so it's really exciting to be part of, like, you know, the movement and has, excuse me, in that sense. And again, any opportunity that we get to kind of unite commercial, legacy, home grower, you know, and just cannabis advocate together as one voice collectively, we're going to get more done. So, bueno.
Exactly. More people will speak up, our voices are louder.
Yeah, that's it. I like, you know, like, I think it was Dalai Lama said, if you think you're too small to make a difference, sleep in a tent with a mosquito. So, kind of
not lots of times.
Like, you know, so if you don't believe, like, you know, anybody who's done that can definitely agree how a small thing can make a big difference.
You should let everybody know who you're talking to.
So, pardon me?
You should let everybody know who's talking.
Oh, I'm D the Bug Guy. I'm just I'm a Canadian grower. I'm medically licensed. I'm also CanCell certified. So I love exploring the different aspects of the industry, as well as being part of the moving change. You know, we have a good system in the sense that it's better than not having one, but there's still work to be done.
That's right. It sure is. So basically you march for?
Access, and I march for everybody. I march for those that can't be here today. I march for those that have been incarcerated for this plant, that still feel silenced, that don't have the access. But like I said, otherwise, just we're here to support the plant. And the people that are here are trying to make a difference. A lot of familiar faces and a lot of new faces. So, yeah. So, like I said, me being one of them with the march. But, you know, there's events surrounding it. We come together. It's a round table. Next time is better.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all about execution. And like I said before, you build it and they come.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for the words.
Anytime, man. You know, I'll see you throughout the day, bro.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We will.
Here we go. D the Bug Guy. I met him in March. First time I'd ever met him. He was up for an award, an activist award, at Can Expo, and I had never met him. So I met him there at the march, and we had a talk.
That's awesome. Well, you know, that's the thing. Like, you know, we've been around for years, but there's always new people coming up, and we need to keep the momentum going so that it is interesting to the younger generation, right? So they keep the culture alive, so that they don't miss out on doing events and enjoying other people's company and having that community. And that's what it's all about. It's kind of like a, you know, a fellowship, really. Like, kind of like everybody gathers together at an event. We have a good time, a big party, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, like even Nimbin in Australia, and you know all the hemp fests.
Oh yeah.
Like all the big events that
big celebrations.
Right? And that's what they should be celebrating. Right? We should be celebrating the fact that we've got legalization, I think, too now. But you know, again, there are so many places in the world that don't have that opportunity.
That's
And
right.
that's March, right? But it, like, you know,
Well,
everybody,
as you were saying earlier, something about Thailand and cruise. So what,
yeah, so
if this just happened in the last week or two,
yeah, the
what's
government's
going
changed
on there?
again. Like I said, like they changed the government in Thailand like last week. So there was a coup, and they ousted the president, whoever he was, but they all have to answer to the king and the queen. There's still a monarchy in Thailand, right? So ultimately, the monarch are the ones that don't rule politically, kind of like the queen and king, but they still have to be accepted by the monarch. So, but this is, yeah, there's they had a coup over there, and I'm not sure, but she's a young woman. She's 37 years old. She's the youngest woman to ever hold the seat in Thailand.
Oh,
Okay, so
I just see that there now.
yeah,
Huh. Yeah, interesting because the cannabis, industry there has just been going one way and going another way, and
well, that's the thing. And if she's the president's daughter, not the last one, but the previous president's daughter. And I believe he was the one
previous one. Okay.
legalizing cannabis in Thailand, and then the new one came in and decided to behead everybody.
Right. Crack.
So this is his daughter that's now the new president of Thailand. So maybe things
Oh.
will change back in Thailand. It's hard to say. But yeah. Yep. Pettigrew becomes a new PM, youngest ever in Thailand.
Yeah, I just glanced through it here on the
So that's
one of the articles I saw.
that just
Oh.
happened this week. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. See if it goes back to where it was on the
Well, like I
cannabis
said,
end.
she's young and progressive,
Yeah.
and to see things change in Thailand, and her being a young woman, progressive woman,
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
she's not meeting up with old, Beijing there, where the Vietnamese are. So, you know what I mean? Like
right.
swinging. Also, it's very dangerous in that area right now. So,
All righty, we got 5 minutes left. So what are you up to this week?
just working.
Working. Yeah.
Yep. And so I don't have a lot on the go this week. Last weekend I had the wedding. I did the wedding thing on the.
Oh yeah, you did you did you also served.
Yeah, I did the hair and then I did the bartending.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
so that was last weekend, and this weekend I'm off my regular day and back to work on Sunday. So nothing too extraordinary. It's been rainy and stuff here, so it's not like I can do a lot outside either, because it's been kind of miserable.
Yeah. No, I'll be working in my garden.
Yeah, well, if mine stays wired up, I'll have tomatoes maybe.
Yeah, well, I go to my garden to watch the deer in the field next door. Keep my fingers crossed that they don't come for a visit.
Do you have a fencing around your garden?
No.
I would put one up.
They have to be a big fence.
It
would have to be a big fence.
Yeah, they have to be at least 7 feet high.
Yeah.
I know, because that's what we've got. That's what we're allowed. We're allowed 7 feet fence in town because of the fact that we've got deer. And most cities are 6 foot, right? But we can go 6 foot with the 2 foot skirting above, like with lattice or something, even as high as 8.
Last week, Gail and I were out, and there was a mother with his 2 babies in the field, and Mom jumped over the fence, and the 2 babies went to the fence. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze again. And they ran to the fence, and then they backed up, and one all of a sudden disappeared. And then I saw it again, so it got down into the long grass, went underneath the fence. It came up, and then the other one it ran down along the fence line looking for a spot. Well, its sibling and its mom just sort of stood there, and it went underneath the fence. It probably went down, I don't know, like maybe 50 feet or something. And it went underneath the fence, and then it came back up to where the mom and the sibling were waiting
you'll
for it.
eat all your fucking vegetables.
Oh yeah. Well, I know from being involved with the provincial parks too that they at one provincial park they actually do a cull of them.
Yep, that's what they want.
So many deer, yeah.
And they tried doing it here the 1 year, and it was funny because I
The First Nations come in and hunt them.
They hired some contractor anyway, but I had reposted something that somebody else had posted at the RCMP for me, thinking I was involved in this. They were sabotaging all the netting and all the traps. Here in town, so they couldn't catch the deer. And that was the last time they tried calling. And now they can't get anybody to come in because they're worried that these people are going to just sabotage it, and the deer will get away anyway. And now we are like overpopulated. Like,
so many of them, man.
Way too many. Yeah. They should have just taken the 30 that they wanted to take. Now we've got 300 instead of 100.
Right. So they took more than they were going to take originally.
They didn't get any because the people were sabotaging the nets.
Right.
And like I said, I got the call from the RCMP saying, "Are you involved?" I said, "No." "Well, you are on your Facebook." I said, "All I did was repost something." I said, "I'll take it now." And she's like, "Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And if you don't know anything, you don't know." I said, "I don't know anything more than that. I just reposted a post."
Right.
And he was like, "Holy fuck, what are you that for?" I'm very careful with my post now because really they're watching.
Alrighty. Well, I see it's about on the hour. It's that time.
We said we weren't sure what we were going to talk about.
What's that?
I said, and you were worried, but we wouldn't have nothing to talk about.
Oh, I know. We always get something to talk. We always come up with something to talk about. Alrighty. Well, you got anything else you want to mention before we say goodbye?
No, just thanks for, anybody who's watching, and I'll be back next week with you. And I guess on Monday on Cannabis and Coffee with Marijuana. As long as
What's that?
As long as Alexa reminds me.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. As long as she reminds you.
She did. I got her all set.
All right. You can find us on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Unfortunately, we're not broadcasting Twitter anymore because now we have to pay to be there. And we haven't been paying to be there for years. And all of a sudden now we do. So
I thought Elon Musk was rich and didn't need money.
Well, apparently he does. Needs it more than me, I guess. All right. Thanks go to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, Limestone City Hydroponics, and at ease.ca. Plus, a big thank you to everybody for tuning in to the broadcast. Other than that, thank you and good night. Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.